Welcome to the Ishqa the Boss Babes. We are live from the network show on day 2 with the Exotic Fine and Superbad.
And we are back for day 2 with the network show on the Ishqa the Boss Babes. Very excited to be able to have two very different brands with us today. We have the Exotic Vine and Superbad in the house today. And so they are you guys have very different business models and very different brands on what you do and how you do it, but you both do it really well. So I'm excited to be able to get into this conversation, and also the introductions from some of these conversations have been really good too, and see what kind of business people do. So we've got a lot of artwork and great packaging on the table right now, and very different styles too. Superbad, we're going to start with you. You guys definitely go with understated, but that's almost a little bit like on brand for you guys too, because a lot of the times you're in the backgrounds of a lot of different things that are happening and people don't realize it, including with your nonprofit and community work.
Correct. Nonprofit, rooted in community. We do a lot in the community. We've been, last couple of years, we've been doing a lot of things, like she said. We like to be behind the scenes. But on the cannabis side, we like to go with the CPG packaging, which consumer packaged goods, just like you'll see in any other store. But that's how we play, because our goal is to take over every state at a time.
And you have the manpower behind you to be able to do that. And I think it's really interesting. One of the things with your packaging is ensuring freshness, which we don't see everybody do, but not everyone's also able to produce at the same scale, right? So that becomes a different and a more important factor when you're able to provide medicine on that scale.
True. We're one of the first brands that ever had, the deal with Boveda, which is national conglomerate when we talk about packaging and everything else that goes inside to make the freshness. We did the deal. I believe we were the first ever, but I don't like to use that word. I like to use, we were one of the first to partner with.
Always modest, you guys.
Which
always
great.
Modest, yeah.
But no, we appreciate all the grind and work that you put down over the years. A lot of people, I know this not interviewing, you interviewing us, but you've been putting it down for a while, and this business appreciates you.
Thank you. It is a blessing every day. I get to share everybody's stories. So yeah, really excited and appreciate you. I actually had you as your first interview on my show a couple of years ago. This is a nice, fun full circle, y'all. This is a lot of fun. And then Aaron, this is your first interview. So I got another first today. I'm very excited. This is a brand. The Exotic Vine is a brand that I discovered at What Strains and Sounds. Shout out Ryan. And my friend Tony Blunt brother, who he loves to take me to really good places to eat, and he loves to show me really good weed. And when he took me over to the table, I saw all this amazing artwork, and then you had me smell some things. And it was a whole experience. And Carlos, we get to share this a little bit with you today, because this is a trip. So you find this amazing flower. First of all, it's absolutely stunning, gorgeous. And then it smells like, and I mean, when you talk terps and the whole experience and really being able to smell something and like feel it all throughout your body of that precursor of that high you're about to get, right? Not only is that so like really good and juicy, but the artwork and the bags that you put it in, like you immediately understand that correlation. And so it to me, what I've been saying, and because I've been talking about it for like a month, y'all, is it's one of the most perfectly curated, like just experience with what it is and how it looks. And so what are you doing?
I sit down with my wife and I figure out what we think is good ideas, and we kind of come up with a concept with the whole brand that everything is uniform and goes together. And once we came up with the artwork and made the brand, we started picking the strains and the phenos to kind of embody those bags, like the way that we did Mr. Nobody. He's the leader of a crew, right?
This one?
Yeah, this one's Mr. Nobody. We have a few other strains, but they all go together almost like a comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once we did the artwork and we do all that ourselves, I went around, found the best possible weed that I could actually find that I felt fit the identity of my bag, and that's why people relate to it well, because it's authentic. It's something that is homegrown. It's something that we invest all of our time to, and we care about a lot.
Yeah.
So,
I just have to go through this really quick. So like these different ones, and we've got them, we got inventive today and how we're presenting things. But the petrol, truly so super gassy.
Yeah.
Like being able to go to, I think events like this are really good, and events like that are really good because people can come over and really see what you've done and see, and again, have that experience of smelling and seeing how beautiful the weed is, but also like seeing this and immediately, like, I think it was this one. Yeah, it's organic.
Yeah.
Like every single thing. It's
Yeah.
very artsy, but it's also very like, that is what I just smelled.
Yeah, we do that on purpose, and I think that we've been fortunate enough to come into the game in the last year to year and a half and be instantly aligned with people who are some of the top people in the industry, and no matter what capacity it is, and they mess with us, man. They like us, and we've been extremely fortunate to be able to put it together. And another thing, just when we picked the phenols of the weed, it was more or less to be like inclusive to every smoker, right? So when you come to Exotic Vine, every bag is going to be different. Every bag is going to be for a different person. And I always say, like, it's like a haircut. You may look better with curls than I do. So I gotta keep my cut low. Yeah.
Definitely like what you're doing though, which we've already spoke on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's you're in the right direction. You're gonna do wellness.
That's what we're trying to do, and that's why I said we've been fortunate to align with the right people, because out of nowhere, we find out about this show, we do the show, and guys like this come up to us and receive us well. Yeah. And that's a testament to the industry that there's people who will reach out and be willing to collaborate and help you along your way.
That's one of the beautiful things that I know about you to be true, because we go back a little bit. He watched me start this whole thing. So, you have always been very collaborative in what you do and always very supportive of other people in the space. And, it'd be very easy for you to come in and dominate. And that's definitely that's not your vibe. I see you really come in and uplifting and supporting and being a really strong presence.
100%. That's how I was taught. I was raised. And that's all I do is show people respect. If they got something great, better acknowledge it. Because the one thing about life, when you up and you think that nobody can be with you, it go down.
You get humbled.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's always what.
Yeah. Well, and some of it's also because you've been very blessed. You felt, we again having these conversations, I'll fill you in, y'all. This gentleman as a young man was very blessed with being right place, right time, and then also knowing how to make the most of that opportunity. And so I see you really out in that work, with your nonprofit, teaching other people how to do the same thing, right? That just because where they come from or what experiences they've had up till now does not dictate what they can do moving forward. And so being able to really take a lot of that education and learning that you've developed and the experience that you've had, and being able to make sure that other people have a bit of a smoother ride in going from survival to thriving.
Yes,
right?
Correct. I work, with the whole reentry situation. And with that, I started a cannabis class. It's about education, because I want everybody to understand about, the plant. And with that, I didn't want it to be about consumption, because consumption is the easy part. But it was about knowing about business. So I taught them business, how to, they graduated. Now they have jobs. Some of them are now, I guess my mentees.
Yeah.
I would say some of now my mentees. I got one, which is the Cannabis Geeks. He's next to come out, up under Superbad Inc. But that's what the whole goal is, to help people and teach people and educate. That's my thing. I'm an educator.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate you talking about the education piece.
Hey,
and I
it's
want
an
more
important
people. I want more
part.
people to sign up. I want more people to sign up. Just like I want more
Yes.
cannabis brands to get a nonprofit because it's important. We have none. So that's why
Very
cannabis,
few. That's why I started
why,
mine.
That's why a lot of the cannabis brands are not looked at a certain
Yeah.
ways because we have to show everybody that this is a real business.
Yeah. Well, it's a real business and, you know, it's about community, right? Like, I think even with what you do and the representation and everything that you try to represent with your artwork and with the weed, like that's the people, that's the community, that's what's important. But we have to be able to give back into that. And I feel like in a way they keep those of you, I will not say us, because I do not have a license, so I'm not struggling like y'all, right? But those in who have made that investment in being in the licensed industry a little harder and to survive, so that way you're distracted from being able to do all those things. So it is like it's hard sometimes to like, you know, there's only so many hours in a day and there's so many things that need to get done and there's all these things that need different priorities. And so how do you juggle and manage being able to be there also for other people in the community? And yet it's such a big part of what we do.
I think what I do is I just only do what I personally am able to do right now. So what I've been kind of focusing on is creating like, not maybe as elaborate as what you're doing, but I have like a little incubation program that I try to do with a couple of friends of mine who I know are interested in being in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
And because I burn my hand on the fire in so many different ways, I provide them the opportunity to be like, hey guys, come in. I know exactly what direction to go in so you don't waste any money. Because I'm owner finance, right? So I have to make sure that every dollar is going to the right place. And just having some sort of direction coming in is so important because I wasted tens of thousands of dollars. I'm pretty sure there's people who've done work with more than that. You know
more
what I mean?
people that I talk to than not. Yeah.
That's a lot. You know what I mean?
Wasting $1 is a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I do that. I have like two of my buddies who are doing that now with me. And, you know, he's the one who's got the It's Organic bag, you know, and he's got Banshee glasses, Bully Bud, and I have another pseudo brand underneath that's called Sky Magic that I'm pushing underneath ours. So,
we'll learn more about that another time. Yeah.
I just think that, you know, you just do what you can. And for us right now, it's just about increasing our footprint. And I'm not trying to be anybody else besides who I am. And just being content in, you know, our brand and content in my dreams and my drive and my ability. Like I just juggle it. You know, like a 3-ring circus right now, but it's happening. You know?
Well, I think that's really important, right? When you know, and you are that purpose driven, right? And you are very, very purpose driven. You know what you're here to do. Like the most important thing that we can do is really step fully into whatever that gift is, right? And so I think that when we're able to do that, master that, that's when we're able to go and expand.
Yeah.
You know, and so like you know, this is what, second, third career for you already. So like, you know, you learn how to be able to juggle a few things and then you expand in some more. And I mean, starting with, look, steering people the right way when they want to enter the space. Like I have people that sit there and they're like, I want to bring it. No, hold on. You think you do, but let me ask you all these questions first and let's see if you still really do. Right? Like, hold on a sec, you know.
A lot of people think that. Like I thought that when I first came to licensing, I was like, you know what, bro, I got a license now.
Yeah.
Bag this stuff up, go right down there to the dispensary, and everybody's just gonna love it, right?
Yeah.
And it that wasn't the experience. I had to work. You know what I mean? Really work to get this thing to a place where just, you know, recently I feel like we have started gaining the notoriety and the traction that we need in order for us to start expanding. But a lot of people don't even know what they're in for by getting the cannabis industry. They just see, you know, it's a bunch of flower and products, and everybody's making a lot of money. That's what they think.
And they come in spending a lot of money on things that don't necessarily get them as far as they would hope, right? Spending all those marketing dollars in advance. And there's a lot of trial and error, and there is just in a new industry anyway. Yeah. But certainly in that, there's a lot of brands I end up talking to, and it hurts my soul to hear how much they spent already, and so therefore don't have the money then to do what it really is that they should have been doing all along. Right. So we learn all the hard way sometimes.
And we learn because this is not an industry that, that been around for 200 years.
Right.
From
and there's no financing.
Exactly.
So there's also like there's no room to give. Right.
They happen, but
well, that's that whole thing. So like when I first started smoking, one of the first realizations that I had at night, because it just was really kind of like healing, right? Was going from that I realized was like, oh, survivor mentality is failure is not an option, right? That's a quote a lot of people subscribe to. Failure is not an option. But then when I started really studying successful people and people that are thriving and like, the 1%, they have a whole other quote that they live by. And that is, there is no success without failure. And so one of the realizations that I had stoned late at night was, well, for all the people, 99% of us that think failure is not an option, so we just don't try because failure is not an option. How the fuck are we supposed to succeed? And so it's really about like realizing, hey, there's a lot of ideologies in the world, and which are the ones that are going to serve me versus which are the ones that are going to keep us limited. And in cannabis, like, we got to keep it moving. Like we can't get caught up in all the no's and the things. There's always got to be a way. And so there's always got to be an inventive way to get through. And I know like with you and the community service and really, I mean, shoot, you're expanding into not just other states, but other countries. What?
Germany.
Right. So
France. So yeah, the whole goal is to go,
right.
stay global.
And so when you see that being where you are, but you see companies like that going and doing that, that's what's paving the way for you to go out there too, right?
Yeah.
Does that get exciting?
Exactly. That's exactly where we want to be at. But, in the most humble way possible, I think the only difference between us and anybody else in the game who is, having success, marginal success, measurable success, right? It's just time.
Yeah.
So I'm not in a rush. I'm where I am. And dude, I was talking to one of my friends. He's a farmer in Texas, right? And he asked me one time, he was like, would you rather have, he's an older guy, he's like, would you rather have the ability to fly or teleport? Me, I'm like, I want to teleport. I want to go inside the bank, blah, 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 teleport out, do my thing, right? And he's like, I'm going to tell you something, youngin'. Like, life is about the journey, not the destination. So I would rather fly, right? So what I'm trying to do right now is just be okay with what I have, be happy with what's going on, and just understand that even with all the stresses, even with all the hiccups, even with all the setbacks, this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
Not everybody has this, right? So when I start feeling like, a little bit overwhelmed or my energy gets low or anything like that, I kind of say it's because I'm looking at this as like a burden now. Like, oh, I got this overhead. Instead of being like, yo, I got this overhead because I have one of the best up and coming brands.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the ways that, if it's done right, the right way, everybody in the whole business can try to find generational wealth.
Yeah.
Of course, it won't be easy because nothing comes easy, but this is one of the vehicles that we have. The last one I seen was the .com. I didn't know a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once we get everyone on the same page, I think that it's going to be better.
How do we do that?
Yes.
Woo! Hot question. Who wants to answer?
I don't think weed should be illegal anywhere. Me personally, I don't even travel to places where weed is illegal. So there's certain places in the world that's just like off
Not yet.
Yeah. So I don't know what to do to fix it. I think giving more access to people and familiarizing them with the process of actually buying through the retail storefront, because the truth of the matter is that most people still don't have that experience if you're talking about globally.
Yeah.
So it has to be a shift from the system that they know to the system that is happening, right? And that's what I think.
I mean, I think we need to get more outreach groups together.
Yeah.
and be able to have the numbers to show the data where we can go to the politicians, and be able to show this is what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. But amongst ourselves, we have to find groups that will decide to show up to. There's a difference between showing up and talking, but actually showing up to places where we can have an outreach, and that's how you really get people to get involved. So if we can do that, then that's how it starts. And you're going to be a big part of when we decide to do that. You're going to be a big part of getting everybody together.
Well, I mean, everybody needs to be, right? Like, that's the work that needs to be done. There's so much work that needs to be done to correct really all the wrongs that have been done to the people that, should have been the founders of this industry.
Yeah.
A long time ago, right?
Yeah.
So how are things shaping overseas? Like, that's a really exciting thing. I think, legislation, like, we get so caught up in here and local in California and what's going on, but being able to work in other countries, is it easier? Is it harder? What's it like?
Easier.
It's easier.
It's just harder because it takes so long for them to get everything in order.
Okay.
But once the process is easier, then the transition is easier than here, and that's sad.
I know that's sad.
Like, I have a buddy who plays professional basketball in Thailand, right? And he's out there, and he was telling me like his buddies are exporting weed into Europe legally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're able to grow their weed in Thailand and take it to Amsterdam and sell it, and we can't even go from here to Arizona.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, what's the holdup?
So, I'm totally obsessed. I've been doing these interviews for a long time. First couple years, I did them in other countries as well. And I'm super obsessed with being able to go to other countries and learn like where the stigma is, right? Because I feel like, they used, of course, people of color here in this country, but like, how's that working in other countries? Like, colorism's a thing everywhere. We know this. But there's different stigmas. And so there's different tools that they use to weaponize the plant. Right. And I was talking, so I have fans in India. You learn new things all the time. It's wild. Appreciate you. Thank you. And so I had one hit me up one day and wanted to have like a Zoom. And I think we did it like 3:00 in the morning or something. It was really fun. But I came to learn that cannabis was actually criminalized there in like 1890. So we're so egotistical here in this country, right? We think everything starts with us, and that it all started with Anslinger, and then it went from there. And so I've been obsessed for a while with like, well, how did it become criminalized in other countries? And, there's been conjecture on trade agreements and things. And yes, it's definitely been written into trade agreements and things through the years. And so that has been how it expanded. But having found out that it actually was criminalized in India by the East Indies Company, right, who was trading there in 1890 when Anslinger was like 7 or something. It didn't start here. And so even just being able to learn that, and so really being able to understand on a global level our history and have like a map and a timeline of when did it become criminalized, and really getting to the truth of what was it, and again, what was used to weaponize it, because how we view it worldwide changed. It changed on a global level. But I wonder what it's like to undo that harm in other countries. And so then again, what those arguments are. So like moving into another country, what kind of stigmas are we dealing with there? Is it the same as over here, or?
It's basically like the same. It just really comes down to the politics.
Are they more concerned with the money, or are they afraid of the plan, or what's it?
It's all
about the money.
Let's not never.
Yeah. How they're going to make some off it, right?
I think that's what everybody's worldwide. How do we make it? Because everybody.
Well, and whether or not to call it an agriculture, is that one of the big issues, right? Or like how to really view it, and so therefore also then how to make money on it.
Well,
in that respect,
that's a tricky question to ask me because I'm part of the USDA, agriculture.
That's why I brought it up.
So from that standpoint, I mean, everybody looks at it from a different perspective. That's probably the most I would say, because they're it is agriculture.
Mhm.
Cannabis is agriculture.
Mhm.
Some people may think it's not, but at the end of the day, it is.
Mhm.
So that's always what's going to be deciding is how we going to get money.
Right.
And that's one of the leading things in the world
Mm.
is agriculture. So
I love it.
I would like to say shout out to Afro.
Oh.
She's everywhere. Hottest female cannabis brand in the world. First woman rapper that has taken on the journey
Mhm.
of being different.
In a lot of different ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He's part of Superbad Inc. So
I know. So really excited about her and that and having launched that brand.
Yeah.
I think, Can Boss Babes, of course, are always going to support those female owned and it's been an interesting thing too, because not all celebrity brands do all that well, but that one's pretty fire, y'all. So
with her, it's about your alter ego. Everybody has
yeah.
it. So anybody that's, everybody has an alter ego when it comes to that band.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Shout out to Kim.
So the Exotic Vine, because we are getting out there and we are getting the name out. And we going around here today too saying we got the best weed in here.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the most humble way possible, but because I designed it like that.
Yeah.
And I just had to find my niche.
Yeah.
I just felt like coming where I was coming from, I had a better opportunity to just have less resources, but the best product, than rather than try to flood the market with money.
Mm-hmm.
And there hasn't been one person who's came by at any show I've done, anybody I've come across, except for there's one store that I would never sell to. I'm not.
No, we don't need to. That's okay.
But they disrespected me, told me my weed wasn't good. I knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
Everyone else has a great reception.
Yeah.
They receive us well. So I'm just ready for what the future has in store for us. I'm sure, when I connect with the people who I have in my network now, there's going to be better stuff in store for us. And we're really just getting started now.
Yeah.
I will say this. He's going to be held.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. No. For sure. I'm really excited actually for what's to come with both of you. You already know, I think I want to be able to share that experience that I've had with the Exotic Vine with everybody. I want to find a way to be able to that was, you just don't get that very often. And I think more people need to be able to smell it all somehow, some way. I'm gift boxes with a gram of each kind. And you really get to see and a QR code with the video of each of the images or something. I'm just I see it in my head of that is a whole experience that you're really creating for people.
It's a learning curve in this industry, right? So there's so much stuff that I'm still learning, and I have to, right now I'm wearing so many different hats, and I'm, put it here, put it there, put it there, so I can get everything put to where, I want it to be. But yeah, we're definitely the best brand that nobody's really heard of right now.
Yeah. And then we've got Superbad, which people have heard of, but they always trying to be low key and behind the scene and make it about the people that you support really more than anything. So,
That's what it's about.
And, one of the things I'm really looking forward to, because our nonprofits actually did an event, a job fair event together recently. And I'm excited to do a little bit more of that this next year too. We had we had a really good panel discussion with one of your mentees who was mentoring young men himself now. And so, it's just exciting to be able to, have those young people come and share their stories of how they've gone through a program and it's changing lives.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm happy to be on this platform, Can Boss Babe. You put it down. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Well, good. I'm gonna definitely make sure we follow up with both of these gentlemen and their brands and get to do a little more behind the scenes. This one's ooh, the artist, y'all. The wife is just like that's a whole other thing.
It's my secret weapon.
Yes, for sure. So we've got a Can of Boss Babe that we're excited to be able to share. And then Superbad. Yeah, I got to come. We got to come show off some of the community stuff you're doing. I think that's just like one of the most powerful things that you do. And for me, like you talk about Superbad, that's super, like you're changing kids' lives who felt super bad and took that in one way and turning it into something that they know makes them unstoppable.
I appreciate it. Knowledge is our superpower.
Yeah.
It's important to have people who you feel like are a representation of yourself that you can, look at and say, I aspire to be that, So I think that's what's important for us. There's an underrepresentation of minorities there. We know that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main reasons why we're here to stay, And that was just me piggybacking off what you said, right?
We out on that one, y'all.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you so much today from the network show, day 2, the most amazing show. Can't wait for it again. Great job, you guys. And we'll be back.
Thank you again to the network show, The Exotic Vine, and Superbad Inc. If you would like to be a guest on a future episode, please email me.